Hi everybody and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday the 5th of April 2023. Thanks for joining me. I want to use the amazing and quirky Cosmic Tarot for today's reading. Let me just show you some of these cards. I always think some of the characters here look like film stars. Let's see if I can... Casablanca we've got there. Isabella Rossellini, that's what she looks like to me. Got a Spanish. So it's very, I love it. It's very, the characters are very, very interesting and complex, which isn't, it looks like the King and I to me. All right, so let me shuffle the cards a few times and then I'm going to choose 3 to see what's coming up here on Wednesday and what energy you'll be working with. Let's see. First card is the Emperor, and the most prosperous and abundant Emperor I've seen. Then we've got the Strength card. And finally, we've got the 8 of Cups. Okay, so the message I'm getting is that if you get too big for your britches, and if you think I am the emperor of the world here, I am in this situation, let's say it's a social function or a meeting or a discussion, if you go into it saying, I'm the authority figure here, I know what's right, I'm going to dictate the terms, and then you really double down on that by using all your strength to make sure you get your way, it's not going to go well. The message I'm getting here is that too much force and too much kind of aggression and kind of trying to get your point across and ramming your way through and being like a bull in a china shop is going to lead to a place of disappointment. It's going to be the opposite outcome that's actually desired. So the first message I'm getting via these 3 cards is to cool it and to be considerate of other people's feelings and their agendas, and to really approach things on an kind of even keeled level and not going into situations saying my way or the highway. That's I think you're going to get a lot of backlash from that if you take that approach today. So first of all, the Emperor is the 4th card in the Major Arcana. On the Fool's Journey, it's kind of the first time he meets Dad, the authority figure in his life, a man who is providing for his family, traditionally, who obviously has achieved great things because he's ruling a country. He is willful, he's authoritative, he creates great structures and everything that goes with that. So, you know, you can be ruthless and you can be tough. But the Emperor with the orb and scepter here, this isn't a man who is just after the power, even though he has the power to achieve great things. But he's more interested in being kind of a spiritual representative of God on planet Earth to his people. You know, I'm not sure which, I think in France, the king was always known as the Sun King, because the assumption was that he had been chosen directly by God to lead the French people. If I'm wrong about that, correct me please in the comments. But it's that similar kind of thing. I'm not just a person who's in charge here. I am someone who feels that I have a divine purpose that I need to now spread into the world. And often that can be a very, very difficult and gray area. You know, who's to say that you're hearing the voice of God or you're hearing some other voice, you know? And I think the outcome, the way that can only be measured is by the outcome. So if the Emperor genuinely wants to channel the message of the higher realms and then use his power to achieve that, then his people are going to be fed and prosperous and happy. But if he's someone who goes after this power just to aggrandize himself and he just wants to make himself richer and richer and richer, which could be argued to be the case here because he's adorned with all this jewelry, then the people are going to suffer and he's the only one thriving. So you see with the Emperor, again, it's, in this case particularly, it's a card where a middle ground is kind of important. And I think the key of this day is to maintain that middle ground, is to say, I do want to do something for other people and use my strength for good. And on the other hand, it's also okay for me to overcome obstacles for myself and to pursue my own desires, but not either or. Instead, both, and to combine them. Excuse me. So the Emperor gives you great authority on this day. It gives you courage. It gives you confidence. If you need to show up somewhere for an interview or if you need to make a presentation, the Emperor is going to make that a walk in the park for you. You will appear as someone who, I think the opportunity to do something like that, which at other times may scare you, is going to seem like a challenge that you want to rise to. And that really supports you in any kind of formal setting, mediations, management. If you're trying to inspire people, the Emperor really helps. Next, we've got Strength. Strength is usually the 8th card in the Major Arcana, which is 8, power in numerology. They change it around sometimes, and here it's 11. And 11 is the master number of service. And here we've got this woman with a king cobra in her hair. So she's someone who is a formidable person. Kind of a sign, don't come too close, or I might, bite, sting. And then she's got the lion here as her kind of symbol. And it's almost like she's the lion. She's dressed in the lion. So she's someone who's incredibly strong and who identifies with her own strength, just as he does. But it's interesting that it's 11 here, which is master number of service. So again, it's about the ability to use your strength to support other people. And I feel that if you look to other people today and say, how can I help in this situation? Like someone may be struggling, with a friend of yours may be stressed out because a relationship has just ended or they're at odds or in a break or something. Or you may have relatives who have gone through a hard time and they're close by in your neighborhood and you haven't visited in 3 months, and you maybe think, hey, maybe they might enjoy seeing a familiar face. If you take that kind of approach and you're considerate and you say, I have all this strength, how can I share it with other people? Then you can comfort him. Then rather than you becoming this person who has this outcome, if you barge into a situation saying, the queen has arrived, worship me, then you'll end up sitting there like this, feeling, maybe I'm not the queen. They've just proven it to me. But if you are considerate toward other people, then you can take someone who's in this position or a situation in your life which seems glum and in despair, and you can apply your strength to fix that. And then, I promise you, if you, out of the blue, pick up the phone and say to someone, hey, do you know what? I know you've been going through a difficult time. I was just thinking about you. That in itself, the person is going to remember for years and years and years, because people don't do that very often. People are busy. And then if you want to take it to the next level, should I come by and we can have a cup of tea and a chat or something? And ultimately, I think the point I'm making is if you go for selfless, you're able to bring a lot of comfort and joy to other people's lives and strengthen your bond with another person, where they will remember that you were there for them when the chips were down. But if you take the approach of me, my jewels, my strength, how can I use my strength to get more jewels and more applause and more adoration and more towers, then other people, I think, aren't going to warm to that and may even retaliate. Or ultimately, circumstances may conspire to try and humble you a little bit, so the outcome isn't as planned, and then you sit there saying, oh, well, that didn't work, that's taken me down a notch or two. So it's interesting that the card is saying that you've got 2 possible approaches here today. The approach of relationships with other people, being nurturing, being caring, will connect you, will help other people, but also, that may even be the beginning of a new relationship, because those kind of moments where you're just from your heart reaching out to help another person, like imagine you're okay, another mundane example, excuse me, but you're at the supermarket and the guy in front of you drops something and he doesn't notice and instead of like tapping him on the shoulder and saying you dropped something, go pick it up, you just pick it up and you go up to him and you say, hey, you dropped this. That's like the other person is certainly going to respond. They'll be like, oh, thanks, da, da, da. And then that's an opportunity even. You helped someone in a very simple way in that case. But that could be an opportunity for a new relationship to start. So I think helping is the way forward today. And being overly self-interested and possibly isolated isn't. So number-wise, we have 4 and 11 is 15. And 8 is 23. 2 and 3 is 5. And 5 in numerology is freedom. So it's freedom from self and selfishness. And it's the freedom to give your power to other people who may need it. And that then is going to create more freedom, I feel, in your relationships and your life, and more positive energy. So that's what I get for you for the day. I hope you have a wonderful time, and I hope this gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to order your reading with me. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.